How we going, guys? Prashish Nepal, thanks very much for joining me. NA, yes, how you going, guys? I'm actually outdoors today because I've got an event that I've got to be doing out at the same time straight after I do this vlog. But let's get straight into it. Last night, India was shell-shocked. Where did India lose this game, and where did England take it away from them? Let's find out on Hoggs Vlog. Roll the bumper. Okay, let's quickly look at the points that I'm going to go through right now. Firstly, if we can get them up, senior players did not stand up. And the reason why I'm saying that is you've got Rahul and Darwin who opened the batting. They were just dumbfounded by the extra pace that the England bowlers were bowling. Archer, Jordan, and who was the other one? Wood, just were too quick for them. And you could tell that they was a little bit shell-shocked with the way that Rahul played away from his body. There was no footwork there. Darwin slogging. Yes, they wanted to play this aggressive game of cricket. They wanted to get the runs or the strike rate up a lot quicker. But in doing so, they didn't read the pitch. They didn't sum up the conditions, and they were found wanting. Then Virat Kohli, when he came out, he was facing Jofra Archer. Now, Jofra Archer hit him in the gloves. He was just too quick for him. He was like a kangaroo in headlights. Now, a kangaroo is one of the animals over in Australia. When we're driving on the road, they just stand still when the headlights come and they start to panic. And you could see Virat Kohli panicking when he faced Rashid the very next over. So he's tried to slog Archer, the last ball of that over, then comes out and tries to slog Rashid straight away. Normally he takes a little bit more time than that. Things aren't right with Virat Kohli's mind last night. That extra pace put him on the back foot and he couldn't recover. And what that did, it just put a lot of pressure on the youngsters downstairs. And we'll get to that point a little bit later. But the next point that I've got for you, England bowlers, the way that they executed. Now, if we look at the Test series, the English bowlers didn't execute. Their pace bowlers were on the wrong lines, lengths, and they would have been a little bit worried coming into this T20 game. But the way that they prepared, the way that they executed, when they had that new ball in hand, they just bowled with sheer pace out the top of off stump, just through that mid-riff region there, and the Indian batsmen didn't have any answers, and it was just too quick for them. And then when they got into the latter overs, when the Indian batsmen were feeling a little bit more comfortable, they were able to change their pace but keep that length. And they put the pressure on Iyer, Hardik Pandya and Pant, who couldn't play that free game as naturally as they would like. The other thing that I liked with England is the way that they planned themselves. Rashid opening the bowling, that's something that he doesn't do normally, and he was phenomenal with those first two overs that he bowled in the power play. He executed perfectly, and then that over in the middle overs, he was just sensational. The way that Morgan rotated the bowlers, he out-captained Virat Kohli in this game. Okay, let's go to the next point. Youngsters stood up. Now, I just made a comment about Pant, Iyer and Hardik Pandya. I just want to go to Iyer and Pant. These two stood up in this particular game. They were put under pressure. They had to recalibrate. They had to reinvent themselves and get India back in the game. Now, these two youngsters have got a big future ahead of them because they were facing a fiery attack that were on top of the game, and they were able to handle that pressure and get a reasonable score on the board for India to have half a chance of defending. I think Iyer is going to be a future captain of India. I didn't think or wasn't expecting him to play this first game. I thought it was going to be Surya Kumar that was going to play in front of him because he's got more shots available. He plays 360 degrees. But the way that Iyer handled the pressure, the way that he sought options and kept it simple, shows me that he's advanced over the last couple of months to be a senior player in this batting lineup for India moving forward. He'll definitely be in this T20 World Cup side later on in the year. Pant, he was a little unlucky the way that he got out deep in the out square leg, but the thing that I like about him is he plays his natural game. The shot was there, he took it on, and in T20 cricket you're going to have a little bit of luck go your way, and sometimes the luck's not going to go your way, and last night it didn't go Pant's way, but just the aggression, the intent, and the role that he plays in the team, he played it beautifully last night. Just a little unlucky there. Okay, let's go to the last point. The advantage of spin was taken away last night by the way that England attacks the Indian spinners. Axar Patel bowled a reasonable first over, but it was the third over where Chahal was bowling to Roy, and Roy went after Chahal. Now, he hit him for 6 early on in the second ball of that third over. Then there was a cut shot, and Thakur misfielded out point. That relieved the pressure and relaxed the the England batsman. Then you had Buttler attacking Axar Patel. Patel dominated in that test series. This was a big move. The way that he used his feet, willing to charge down the wicket and hit him straight back over his head, then get back and play off the back foot, but also playing the sweep shot against Axar Patel where they struggled in that test series. These little moments are series-changing moments. The pressure is being put back on the Indian spinners right now. How are they going to turn around and react going into the next game? So what I found out with these Indian spinners is that Chahal and Sundar, if the England batsmen sweep them, they're a little bit more comfortable sweeping them because of the limited bounce that they get. Axar Patel had that extra bounce in the test series. They were still prepared to sweep him. The other thing with the Indian spinners where I saw them put under pressure, just another point that has just come to my mind, Chahal normally bowls a lot slower in the air when under pressure. He got quicker and quicker against Roy last night, and he was found wanting, put under a little bit of pressure, he lost his natural flow. That's something that he will improve on in the next game, and watch him bowl a little bit slower. And when he did last night, he got Buttler out, and he also put Malan under pressure as well. So change of pace for the Indian spinners wasn't there last night, and they need to do that the next game. Okay, Shubs, let's get into the questions. Let's get the first question up. Thanks everyone for joining me. I could see all the lists coming. And this is from Skull Togal. How are you going? Batsman starting, reading Chahal's bowling. This is a very good question, yes. Chahal, for me, yes, he's got a ripping leg spinner. Last night the wicket wasn't conducive to spin as what we saw during the test series. But when you're playing T20 cricket, you've got to adapt. For me, he doesn't have a raging wrong un. He's got a wrong un there, but it's not a ripping wrong un where it really tears off the wicket. He doesn't really have a dominant top spin as well. And the England batsmen are reading that, and they're realising that they can sweep slog him easily. They know that he's going to go slow and wide when he's under pressure. He didn't do that last night, or he didn't do that often enough last night, but when he did, the likes of Bairstow and Roy were ready for it. Roy tried to play a reverse sweep, he missed it, but the next option he got, he tried to hit it straight down the ground, and he got him there as well. So Chahal, moving into this next game, he will be a little bit nervous. And the only reason why I know that is from past experience. When Saway got stuck into me like Roy got stuck into Chahal last night, I was very nervous the next game. And it took a lot of courage to bowl those slower balls when you had the next opportunity. So I'm very, very interested in that contest. Okay, let's go to the next question. Sahama Aurea, how are you going, mate? Thanks very much for joining me. Should India play another pacer instead of an extra spinner? The next game I think they should do. I think they've got to play Axar Patel and go with Chahal. I'd bring in the extra pacer Saini. I don't think India had that option last night. They were very similar types of bowlers in Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Thakur. I just think they need that point of difference. So next game, bring in Saini. Very good question there, Sahum. Okay, Vasant Narain. Should aggressive batsmen open, and should Pant be given more licence to hit, and can India open with Ishan Kishan and Pant? No, I'd leave Pant where he is, right down that lower order. I thought he did a wonderful job yesterday. He just was a little unlucky getting caught out in the deep. He's got that licence to play his shots in that aggressive game. But last night you've got to remember that there was 3 England bowlers that were bowling over 140 kilometres an hour. Probably all 3 of them were up in that 145 kilometre range. And that's pretty difficult for a batsman on that type of wicket where there's extra bounce, and plus they were executing their lines and lengths. I thought Pant with his aggression looked good. If he didn't get out at that moment, India probably would have got around about 150 if luck was on his side. So don't change that. Ishan Kishan, the way that Darwin batted last night and Rahul batted last night, I think it's time to bring in a little bit of youth, and I could see this young kid batting alongside Rohit Sharma. If the 2 experienced players of Rahul and Darwin don't take their next opportunity, bring in Ishan Kishan, because you want youth on your side. He's an excellent fielder, and he's just an aggressive batsman that will take the pressure off that lower order. If he comes off opening the batting, well then Virat Kohli doesn't have to come in and play a more aggressive game. He can be a little bit more conservative at the start of these innings where he plays his best. Very good question there, Vasant. Okay, next question please, Shubs. Hello from New York. This is from Tibetan Nomad. Mate, I hope everything's well in New York. I hope you're allowed out and be able to walk around and you're slightly back to normal with everything that's going on in the world. But there's so many followers of cricket over in America. I think it's the biggest following of cricket in the world, with the viewership and fans. So thanks for everyone in America who's joining me and watching the great game of cricket. So thanks. Okay, Mohammed Farhan. What has happened to Kohli? Why is he not trying to be himself? This is a very good question. I think we've got to just remember that Virat Kohli's just become a dad, and sometimes that changes people's perspective of life. So having that extended family, a young baby in the household, probably just slows him down a bit, and I just think that's affecting his game at the moment. And I think there's a lot of pressure on India getting in the World Test Championship final through that Test series, so I think he might be mentally drained from that as well. And just the pressure of leading the Indian team. It's probably one of the toughest jobs around the world, because you've got 1 billion people who follow this team, and they're expecting you to perform every time you go out to play. And Virat Kohli has set high standards from when he started playing international cricket to where he is now, and it's very difficult to uphold. So we always go through a little bit of a curve. We go up and down, up and down. At the moment, he's gone up. He's fairly consistent, little trough there, but now he's just having a bit of a big trough here. Just give him another month or two, and that trough will turn into something a little bit more consistent down the track. We all go through these troughs. He's just got to find his way with fitting family in with cricket now. Very good question there, bud, Mohammed. Abhijit Kamath. How you going, Abhijit? Do you think India need to have a completely aggressive approach or slow and steady approach? For me, I think you have different players for different roles in your team. The question earlier on with Ishan Kishan opening the batting with Rohit Sharma, I think that would be fantastic, because Rohit Sharma can play an aggressive style of cricket, but he can be conservative as well. And if Ishan Kishan doesn't come off, then Rohit and Virat Kohli can come in and just play a more conservative role in the power play. Just use the timing and try and pierce the field to find the 4 balls rather than the 6s. And then if that comes off, then you've got the likes of Pant, Iyer, as well as Hardik Pandya down the lower order to finish it off in the last 10 overs. So for me, you have a mixture of aggression and conservative batting roles in your lineup. So I think Ishan Kishan's closer to coming in this lineup now than he was probably a couple of weeks ago, with the way that Darwin and Rahul batted last night. That is a very good question there. You've got to mix it up. Righty-o. Ato Barol, how you going, buddy? And thanks very much for liking my post on Facebook the other day. Why were you nicknamed Daewoo? That's question one. Okay, Daewoo was a car manufacturer over here in Australia, or when I first started playing first class cricket. And I used to run and chase balls as a youngster, and they just thought I was a sheepdog the way that I just ran around and followed the ball. So that's why I was named Daewoo for a year or two. And question two, did Team India underestimate the English T20 team? Asked Hoggy. I don't think they underestimated it. I just think they were surprised by the extra pace that England provided last night. 3 bowlers bowling over 140. Jordan, I didn't expect him to bowl with the heat that he bowled last night, so that just shows me that England have picked him just to be a T20 bowler, knowing that he doesn't have to play the longer form of the game. He can bowl short, sharp spells. He's rejuvenated himself. He's back to bowling the pace that we saw when he first came on the scene. Jofra Archer was injured during the Test series. With that elbow injury, I don't think they were expecting him to bowl as quick as he did last night, and he bowled sharply. But if you looked at the latter part of his bowling last night, he was shaking his hand a little bit, and that just tells me that he's still affected by that elbow. So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play the next game, and they replace him with someone else. And Wood, just coming back, he was just lightning. So I think the Indians were surprised by the extra pace and bounce that the English bowlers bowled last night. Okay, we've got another question there. Or have we run out of time tonight? Okay, we've run out of time today, guys. So we've got the game coming up in a day's time. I think if England can keep up the way that they executed their bowling, I think India are going to be on the back foot. Again, I think they've got to change their approach out the top of the order. I think Rohit Sharma's got to come back in and stabilise the top two. If they continue with Rahul and Darwin, this will be their last opportunity for those two. If they don't perform, then don't be surprised if Ishan Kishan comes in and opens the batting. And Saini to play in the next game, and Sundar to be out. Thanks very much for joining me, guys. You can join me on Twitter at Brad_Hogg and Instagram also at Brad_Hogg. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy the cricket coming forward. Thanks very much for joining me and supporting me, guys.